Now, this next matchup also excites me for two teams that barely meet. They have some similarities or share some similarities or familiar with one another in certain areas. And this game I'm talking about, Clemson versus Texas. Texas, they're 11-point favorites of Clemson, which I think is a little bit of bananas, I would say. Both quarterbacks, I think it was in 2019 or 2020, they faced one another in high school. Both starting quarterbacks, Quinn Ewers and
Okay,
Clay
Klubnik.
Covenant. Yeah. Supposedly they faced one another in high school in a championship game or something like that. I need to go back and look into that, but that's interesting. And I think that both have coaches have some history as well in the past. So for two teams that barely get to see one another play against one another, there's some familiarity there. But I think that Kate Klubnik has had a better season compared to Quinn Ewers. I mean, Quinn Ewers, he's been dealt with injuries and things like that. And like we said in a video here on college football time, that SEC championship game, Texas was a bit too loyal to Quinn Ewers. They got to learn from that. The minute he doesn't show up, you got to put Arch Manning there. Throw him to the wolves. You can coach scared. You can stay loyal. You have to go with what you're seeing. You gotta go. You gotta go. So I hope I get to see Arch Manning at some point in this game because I still believe that Quinn Ewers, his ankles still bother him. I still believe that he's not 100%. Clay Klubnik, like I said, he's been the better quarterback this year. Texas is a great defensive team. Clemson, as we know, they're ACC champions. Who do I think will win this game? Hmm. Because I'm concerned about Texas offense lately, I'm gonna go with Clemson 29-25.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And and
Another
and and that's sorry, I forgot to bring one more thing. And that's another thing. Can Clemson score more than 20 points against that Texas defense? Can Texas score more than 20 points? So it's you're worried about Texas offense, and then Clemson, you got to think about Texas defense. So, but I feel that for this game, I don't know, for some reason, I feel like I'm gonna get some kind of surprise. So I'm gonna go with 29-25 Clemson.
Actually, it's interesting that you're picking Clemson because again, on paper of the four matchup, Texas has the higher winning prediction. Believe it or not, Texas is favored 80% versus Clemson's 19 and a half. Uh, like I said, they have Texas favored at 12. I think that's a bit liberal for Texas, but here's the thing. Texas, they have to come out. They, I think the SEC championship game reminded Texas, and I agree with you, they were too loyal to Quinn. You may need to put in Archie. It's almost like the comparison may be like with the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was doing a very good job, but once he waned a bit, the Falcons knew they now have to put in Penix in order to try and salvage something. And I think with Texas, that could be it too. If Quinn Edwards is not doing the job he needs to do, if he's not, getting the ball in, if the injury is still bothering him, yes, you're gonna have to put in Archie Manning. You're gonna have to. And not saying that we want Quinn to be hurt, but even Archie knows if he gets the opportunity, he's going to do what he needs to do. Literally, the purpose of a backup quarterback. You always have to be prepared. So I'm gonna go a little bit further. Like I said before, of the matchups, I also think this one could probably get out of control. I think Texas might have Clemson's number, even though Clemson and SMU, very good game, but even Clemson's defense couldn't hold that SMU offense until kind of like the last little bit. This again might be close, and then I think Texas and their defense is probably going to slap Clemson around like they owe them money. I'm actually going to go with, Texas being favored of the 12. So I'm actually going to have, especially the over-under being 50 with these teams. So I'm actually going to go like they're going to get the bare minimum score, Clemson, for 20. And I'm actually going to go with Texas 30, Clemson 20.